Hey everybody, Katie Sutton here, Intuitive Channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School, live with your January 2023 energy update. Happy New Year. So I've got 4 themes that I want to share with you this month. The first is massive integration. The second is releasing separation. The third is learning to trust again. And the fourth is 2023, the year of the way shower. So stay tuned for the rest of the energy update. Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. Couple of logistical items. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get all of my updates throughout the month. I also just want to note that the New Earth Now School is open for registration for Volume 3, which is focused on community and connection. We're going to be doing a lot of work to learn how to be fully connected to ourselves so that we can learn how to collaborate in unity with others, which is way more complicated than it sounds. We're going to be working on clearing a lot of abandonment and rejection energy, a lot of loneliness energy, and learning to drop into deeper trust of connection, both with ourselves, our guides, our community. It's going to be a really important volume of work that we're going to be working with. So if you want more information about that or would like to enroll, it's below this video in the comments. I also just want to mention that this healing circle that we're having this month is super important. If you don't join any other healing circle, join the one coming up on January 11th because it's going to help you to align with all of the energies of 2023. What I've found historically is that the healing circle that happens in January of the year is the one that kind of sets the stage for all of the other healing circles, and it brings in a foundational teaching and practice that I personally and many of my clients come back to over and over again throughout the year. So that was definitely true last year and the year before. So I assume it's going to be true this year as well. And we're going to be working with the 4th theme of the month, which is 2023, the year of the way shower, and talking more about that, as well as all of the energies of 2023 and helping you to align with that. So check that out. That link is below this video as well. Okay, so let's get into it. So we've got 4 big themes that I want to share with you. The 4th is more about the whole year, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But the first theme that I want to talk about is massive integration. But before I talk about that, I just want to note where we are in our shift to 5th dimensional frequency, where we are in the process, what's happened in the last 6 weeks, and just talk a little bit about why this theme is important. So we had the winter solstice, December 21st. I told you all it was going to bring up a lot of stuff leading up to it and after, because we were going to be receiving more light than we've ever received, more access to unity consciousness, more access to all of the parts of ourselves, our guides. So much was coming in with this winter solstice, and it did not disappoint. I have to tell you that the level of unity and connection in unity consciousness that I felt during the winter solstice was more than I've ever experienced on this planet in this lifetime anyways. And it resulted in a huge amount of energy coming to the surface for me to be cleared and released, and some energy to be integrated so that I can hold that vibration going into 2023. And I think for a lot of us, that is what we're going to be starting with here in January. The tendency is to want to go gung-ho into January. I see January as having a bit of a slow start, especially the first couple of weeks. We've got Mercury in retrograde. We've got 4 other planets in retrograde, and they're going to slowly be turning direct starting in January around the 12th. But leading up to that, like the first couple of weeks of January, are going to be a little bit of a more inward slow time. And so the first theme that I want to talk with you about is massive integration. So we had a big karmic release that happened post winter solstice, and it was significant. Everybody has been coming to me, my friends included, and saying, what is happening? I just feel like I am clearing so much out of my being, and so much is just coming up to be released. And that's that karmic release that we had. What I experienced personally was a karmic release of all of the karma that I've ever had with any of my clients, with anybody in my life. It was big, and it was really tied into this experience that I think many of us have been having of feeling that we're responsible for the process of those around us, and this need to really release that as we move into 2023, which I'm going to talk about in the fourth theme. So right now, at the beginning of January, you're in an integration process still. We did not get done with it in the last 2 weeks of the year, or the last week of the year post the winter solstice. It was just too much to integrate for most of us. And so really take it easy as you start January, and give yourself as much pause as you can in between the things that are ramping up or starting to feel like they're ramping up to integrate. This includes continuing to integrate that shadow and those darker parts that we worked with in the month of December, and allowing yourself to come into a greater degree of wholeness, because the go energy that we're going to experience at the end of January, and the things that we're going to be asked to do, and the leaps of faith that we're going to be asked to take this year, we have to be fully in an integrated place within our being in order to trust that process. So this is really key, that you take the time to allow that to happen, and do your best not to push yourself into high gear too quickly here in January. We are in winter time, especially here in the north, right? This is an inward time. This whole idea that we have every year that we have to perfect ourselves and move forward faster is just ridiculous. And it's just a calendar. There's no rush here. So if you find that you're moving a little slower than those around you at the beginning of the month, take time to honor that, because you're likely doing some pretty deep integrative work here to try to bring some more wholeness to the table within your being. And so that takes me to the next theme, which is releasing separation. So we worked with this a little bit last year, early in the year as well, and I'm seeing that we're going through another degree of release of this belief that we are separate, that we are not all one. And this belief that we're separate from the earth, this belief that we're separate from source, we're really starting to bring in a higher degree of unity consciousness, Christ consciousness. And that means that we have to look at those around us and be willing to drop deeper into connection with them, and be open to that connection, even if in the past that connection looked like responsibility. We're shifting into a new way of connecting with those around us as we move into 2023. That's why the New Earth Now School is starting off with community and connection. It's super important that we learn how to relate to one another without all this separation energy. And it's been so present in the last 10 years as we've had this lead up into this shift into the back half of the 20-year cycle that we're in to move towards 5D, that we're a little gun shy. There's a lot of trepidation energy. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of things that have happened. And what I'm witnessing in myself and in the collective is that we're having a hard time kind of letting go of that illusion of separation. But that is really the ask right now, because if you continue to project that separation and make the other people around you the problem, you're missing the mark of the opportunity of 2023, which is to step into a greater degree of embodiment as a way shower and as a leader. And so it's really important that you continue to look for where you're creating separation, where you don't need to. Now, I'm not talking about good boundaries. Good boundaries are different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where you're still in judgment, you're still in blame, you're still shaming either people outside of you or aspects of yourself. Okay? This is really important that we continue to see any places where we're in separation start to break down, and be willing to let those blinders go that you've got up that say, no, I'm not them. Right? The more you resist them or the thing inside of you that you're in resistance to, that you say is not you, the more it persists. So we've really got to work on releasing this idea of separation and stepping into more unity. So be open to that this month. Be open to seeing the unity before you see the separation, or maybe seeing them at the same time and realizing that's a great paradox, right? That they cancel each other out, that this appearance of separation is really just a falsehood. It's not true. See if you can move beyond that illusion and see the places where you are connected to the person that you're creating separation with. Really work to build those bridges this month and see where you can find common ground. This is really important. I think we learned a lot of lessons in 2022 about how to do this while also taking care of ourselves and being in discernment of what we need. So we're here now practicing that, really real life practice as we move into 2023 in January. That takes me to the next theme, which is learning to trust again. So I don't know about you all, but some of the initiatory experiences that I've had in the last 10 years has really created some fear energy that I've had to work with and be with of what is this process going to look like. I think there's some memes on the internet of like poking your head around the corner to see what 2023 has to offer and see if you're willing to walk into it. But we are in a brand new cycle. There's a lot of really good and expansive energy coming in. But what I'm finding is that there's a lot of resistance to that because we have lost trust that things can go our way. We're kind of waiting on the other shoe to drop. So this is another one of those separation paradigms that you're being asked to release. Where are you not in trust of your connection to the universe? Where are you not co-creating with the universe? Where are you not in trust of yourself? Where are you not in trust of those that you love that continue to show up for you? How can you learn to trust again? How can you let go of what's happened in the last 10 years or the last 20 years and open your heart again so that you can drop into trusting yourself and those around you and the universe? It's important that we really work with this theme because without that trust, some of the things that we're going to be asked to step into that are new. I see a lot of new beginnings coming in for many of us. We've been doing things in a very different way, and we're going to be doing things in a very different and new way going forward in 2023. That requires a lot of trust. And so can you take a look back at all of the times where you've been in fear and how well they've actually worked out? Can you take that hindsight is 2020 view and look at the last 10 years and look at all those things that were so quote unquote hard and see if you can track how that has shifted you into a place of greater alignment every single time? Because that's what happens, right? Every single time we move through one of those difficult things, one of those challenges, it's actually there to shift us into greater alignment with our purpose, our passion, our truth, what we came here to do as beings on this planet. And as many of you are watching this, you've been doing this work for years, right? You've been doing this self-inquiry, you've been doing this inner work for a really long time, and you're ready for it to get easier. But you have to be willing to let go of the past and the things that have happened and the things that have been difficult in order to accept that ease as we move into this new chapter, okay? So learning to trust again is super, super important. Practice that. Work on that. Be with what does the word trust bring up for you? What gets triggered from your past? What can you let go of? What can you heal? What can you integrate so that you can learn to trust again? Where can you get vulnerable? Okay, vulnerability is strength. So where can you get vulnerable and learn to trust again and learn to reach out again to those around you and ask for support? And so that takes me into this final theme, which is what I'm calling the overarching theme of 2023, which is the year of the way shower. So we are coming out of a cycle where many of us who have been doing this spiritual work for since 2012 or earlier have felt like we've been doing it all alone in a dark room. We've felt somewhat isolated. We felt like we were the only one in the room saying the thing that everybody was thinking or feeling or fearing, the thing that nobody wanted to speak of. And we've been on the chopping block. We've been the scapegoat, we've been the crazy person, and we've been the outlier, right? The outsider for quite some time. What I'm seeing as we move into 2023 is that there's another round of people that are going to be waking up and stepping into their truth and to the realization that some of the things that have been happening on this planet are not what they seem. And the energy that we've been holding as people who have been holding the light and almost taking on responsibility to do the work on behalf of those around us who haven't been able to do it or haven't been willing to do it or haven't known to do it, that is shifting. And I'm experiencing this in my own body as a weight of responsibility just falling out of my field. And it's interesting because as this happens, I'm watching part of myself get into a little bit of a fear loop about this identity that I've had and many of us have had of being the responsible one, being the one that's doing the work. It's become this martyrdom picture that many of us have been holding in our fields of we're the ones doing the thing, we're sacrificing, we're out there, right? And we're taking the chances and doing the deep inner work. And there's a whole nother group that wants to step into holding some of that density. And there's other channels like Tim Wilde and Diana Cooper and many people that I follow talking about this. But the way that I'm seeing it is that we are being invited to now fully step into the role of the way shower, being the example. And you have heard me talk about this before. We've done bits and pieces of this leading up to this year. But there's really a need for us to fully claim that role. And what that looks like is that you're claiming the role that you are the co-creator of your reality with the universe, that you can do it through joy, that you can do it through love, you can do it through ease. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be responsible for transmuting the energy of everybody around you. You can do it through joy, through play, through adventure, through excitement, through fun. These are the things that we've been promised when we came here about what's going to happen as we shift into this fifth dimensional frequency. Now is the time to fully claim it. This is why my school is called New Earth Now. It's here. You have to claim it though. And in order to do that, you have to release all of these places where you've been giving your power away to other people, where you've been disempowering yourself, where you've been dropping your frequency in order to play with those around you so that you can feel like you belong. It's now time to really own that next vibration. Own that way shower role. And I promise you, if you do that, those that have been operating around you are going to step up in frequency as well. So there's often this misperception that if you go higher in frequency, that you're going to lose people, right? We have to let go of that fear, okay? Don't play in that fear anymore, because if there is a opportunity where somebody does fall away or something does fall away, what's going to come in its place is going to be so amazing and so revelatory that you're not going to feel the same level of grief and sadness that you have in the past when you've moved in vibration. There's such a big amount of joy and light and adventure and excitement and manifestation potential coming in. We're just making space by saying, hey, I'm willing to step into that, which means I'm not going to hold these lower, denser vibrations anymore just because I felt like I was the only person that could do it. I'm going to learn to trust again, and I'm going to trust that as I leave that, somebody else is going to step into that role, and I may have a little bit of grief, a little bit of sadness that clears around that, but what's coming in for me is so much more grand and so much more beautiful that I am saying yes to it. I'm going to take that leap of faith. I'm going to step into being the way shower, because that's the role that I've been playing this whole time, right? This is the invitation that you have. Can you drop into owning this role as the way shower and no longer needing to go back into these frequencies that are no longer needed, these timelines that are falling away, and playing in that sandbox anymore? Can you really take the leap of faith into being the way shower and the leader that you are? It is time, right? We've been preparing, we've been working on this, we've been doing our inner work, we've been integrating our shadow, we've been working on trust, right? All these things have been happening, and we need to step into this way shower role now. It's time. There is no more need to suffer. There is no more need to carry this. Certainly, if you want to carry the weight of those around you and continue to do that, is your choice. But just know there is another path opening for you. There's another way. And I hope that this brings you all this feeling of relief, because when I talk about it, when I channel about it, when it comes in, when my guides talk to me about it, yeah, there's a little bit of fear of, oh, what does this mean? What is my work going to look like? How am I going to show up as a healer, as a teacher, as a guide? What is that going to look like? But there's also this huge degree of excitement and hope that's coming in along with this particular frequency. So I sincerely encourage all of you to be with what it would mean for you to be a way shower in your life. A way shower is first, right? Steps forward into the new beginning and doesn't fear that new beginning. They're willing to hold that vibration and trust that's all they have to do, right? All they have to do is maintain their frequency, continue to choose the joy, continue to choose the bliss, continue to choose the things that light them up, and trust that they're doing their part by doing that, right? No longer do they have to play in the muck and the mire and sacrifice and suffer in order to be of service here, okay? This is changing how many of you are going to show up in service. I know for me, it's changing some things, and I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I don't know what that means for my work other than the things that have already taken off, like the New Earth Now School and the teachings that are coming through for that. I'm excited about it, but I don't know what it means, right? This is a beginning. So see if you can align with this new beginning. And as I mentioned in the Healing Circle, we're going to be working on this theme, the Year of the Way Shower. I'm going to be talking more about what I see coming in for 2023. We're going to be talking more about holding this frequency of the Way Shower, what that means. We're going to be doing some karmic clearing of some responsibility energy and helping along with the process of letting that go. And we're really going to be bringing in some practices and teachings that are going to help you throughout 2023. So as I mentioned, if you don't join any other Healing Circle, this might be the one for you so that you can have the support for the whole year. More information about that below this video, along with the link to my New Earth Now School, where we'll be working on community and connection as we move into January. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month ahead, and I will see you in February.